Random. Random. I don't even know why I'm streaming live right now. I probably shouldn't stream live right now. I'm packing. I'm finishing packing. Almost done. On our way, me and my boys on our way to San Fran. And going to spend a little over a month in California. We doing it. We doing it all. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have fun. We're going to be in San Diego, San Diego, LA. We're going to Lake Tahoe. We're just doing a bunch of stuff, man. It's a good sabbatical, even though I'm preaching every Sunday at Christ Church of the Presidio. And then I think the first couple of weeks. So I don't even know how many people are going to watch this live. I don't usually stream late. This is just a really random, this is somewhat of a rant, maybe. So I'm going to just jump right in. I'm not going to do my usual setup. This isn't my usual live stream. This is just a quick, just some thoughts. It was really interesting. So earlier today, I was looking on just somehow, you get notifications on different social media posts, different social media outlets. And I saw a video of Jackie Hill Perry. Some guy was asking her who were her top lyricists in CHH, right? And she answered, CHH doesn't have a lot. Let me let y'all hear this real quick. Listen to this.
Lyricism and Christian hip hop. So
let's back this up. Listen to this.
You do have an elite pen. You could be humble about it, we know, but everyone always puts you in the conversation. So I'm curious who you would say among your peers in Christian hip hop, who are 5 lyricists that you look at that are like, the top 5?
I don't think there's a lot of lyricism in Christian hip hop, so it's hard to count 5. But I do think, what's that group with No Big Deal in it?
Indie Tribe?
Yeah, I think they can rap for sure.
Okay.
I think AHA has it's not like a boom bap lyricism, but he has a way with words. It's very clever and interesting. And I enjoy Hovey. Other than that, yeah.
All right, so that's her perspective. And so I saw a lot of people. I was surprised by how mad some people seemingly got. And I understand certain frustrations. I mean, when you're a Christian rap artist, it's probably a much bigger, it's got to be as big as an underground scene as the secular market, where there's a lot of people that can rap that most people don't hear about, because it's a smaller niche market and you really got to know people. And it's really just, it's really hard to break through in that market. But what I was surprised by was how many people were offended at her comments. And maybe they're not a lot of people, but when I saw it, I was like, wow, different people were in certain posts had a lot of comments on it. And people were like, man, wow, how could she say that? She's rapped, on her old label. She rapped with like lyricists. She's rapped with all these different people that are like CHA spitters that some people think are like some of the best rappers in Christian hip hop, right? So when she answered this question and she named these people, there were people getting mad. And I was surprised by that. And let me tell you why I was surprised by it. Well, one, the interviewer sets it up like, you got a pen, right? You're one of the best pens. People say that, right? And then so he sets her up on this pedestal, so to speak. And maybe people say that about Jackie Hill Perry's music. I heard one of her albums and I thought it was decent. I think she is, for lack of a better way of describing it, I think Jackie Hill Perry is a Lauryn Hill, the Fugees' The Score / Miseducation of Lauryn Hill vibe rapper who's saved and really confident. So I think she can rap, but it's not like I just thought, oh, okay, wow. I mean, it's good stuff. I think it's not like, I've never thought like, whoa, her music is incredible. Like what she says about music is like the thing, but it is what it is. I mean, some people may really love it. I know some people that really bang with her, and I don't dislike her music. I thought it was cool, but it reminds me, she even referenced the boom bap vibe. Like that's her vibe, and I get it, right? But I was surprised because when she answered the question, so the interviewer put her up like, hey, your pen is crazy. You're one of the pens. Who would you say are the top 5, right? And then she went to Aha, Gazelle, and then some other people, a couple other people, No Big Deal and all that. And there was a lot of people she could have named that she didn't. And people were mad. And here's why I was surprised. One, she just signed recently to, I think she's on Lecrae's label, right? She's on Reach now. I think I saw a single that was decent. I thought it was a good, I mean, she raps. She's a 96 rapper, like she's an East Coast boom bap rapper. And that's my era, so I bang with it. But it's not like, oh my God, so I thought she's on Reach Records. She didn't name any of them dudes. She didn't name anybody from Reach. I mean, she's on the dude's label, Lecrae's label. She ain't say Lecrae. She ain't say Trip. She ain't say Tadashi. She ain't say none of the people that's been on this label, right? So she didn't say them. And there's people that I think she could have said, and all that. Maybe the question caught her off guard. Maybe it wasn't helpful for the interviewer to make it seem like you got one of those pens. Like, and I could be wrong. I'm not. This isn't a smite against her. I don't know. I know who she is, and this is just me. I'm not impressed with many people. Like, I don't really care. So I don't know. Do people talk about her like she's like one of the elite rappers? Like, I just think she's a good rapper. Maybe she's a good. I don't know. To me. And this is where Jackie Hill Perry's fame is not from rapping, though, right? Jackie Hill Perry's fame and influence largely stems from being a former lesbian who God radically saved. And let's just be clear, like in the church, we tend to think the LGBT community, we treat that like it's and I hate saying that as a whole, because they're not a unit. They're not unified, right? They're not unified. But that's how we understand them. We tend to see them as a unit, and we, as a church, we tend to think of them as almost like the unpardonable sin. Like once you go there, hell is your next stop. You ain't coming back from that. So to see somebody come out of it, and I don't know her story, but she strikes me as a lesbian who was probably more on the masculine side. I think I've heard her even say that. There's different levels of some are girly girls, some are more butch, some are more just masculine with it. She strikes me as someone that came from that side. But like her popularity is connected to God radically saving her. Her influence is not because she's like a sick rapper with a sick pen. That's not why people are drawn to her. People may like her music, but I think her former lifestyle and her current level of maturity, I don't know her, but it seems like she's mature enough that people around her, I like her because she seems like a straight shooter like me. She'll just tell you how it is. She don't got no cut cars. I'm with all of that. I don't mind that at all. So I think her popularity comes from a lesbian. In the church, we view that as like, oh my gosh. Same with Rosaria Butterfield. She was a former lesbian that got saved and then got married. And then those two sort of became, somewhere around the same time, this, look, people from this community can be saved and redeemed, and praise God for that. I've never thought that her popularity was connected to she's got the best pen or one of the best pens. So maybe that's true, or maybe the interviewer was, I'm from DC, so we say like sicing, like you trying to like sice them up, like make them seem like they, really flatter them. We would say like, stop sicing her, stop flattering her, right? Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe she does have a good pen that people think. When I hear her, it reminds me of that old East Coast rap that I like, but I don't know. But the other thing is, I think her popularity is not in when she says something about music, we all stop and listen. So her giving her opinion and naming 3 artists that she thinks are dope, starting off saying there's not a lot of lyricism in CHH. I don't know how much she listens to lyricism. I don't know how much she listens to CHH. She could be a connoisseur and make that statement based on, I know what's out there. But usually there's so much music out there, there's no way you could know what's out there. There's no way. It's a small world, but it's a big world. There's no way Jackie Hill Perry has heard all this music. And when she says there's not a lot of lyricism, she's talking about maybe the more popular stuff. I know a lot of lyricists. I bet you she's never heard of Kennedy, and I can hang with her and anybody on Reach, any of them. There's a lot of people that I know that could spit, that could rap. But I'm surprised that people are mad that she just gave her opinion. Like, and this is the problem that I have within the church. It's what I call platform epistemology, right? One of the reasons why I try to, on my videos, try to humble myself, acknowledge, hey, I failed in this too. I try to bring that in because my platform is slowly growing, but there's a tendency to think that when people have a big platform, that they just have their epistemology, their wisdom is just like, you can't deny it. And I just, listen, Jackie Hill Perry's opinion on CHH is the equivalent of what we would call someone teaching eisegetical, right? When you're eisegesis, you read into you're taking what you're bringing into the text and then saying that that's what it is. It's your opinion of the text, not the text's opinion of you, is what eisegesis is. It was an opinion about CHH. It was eisegetical. It was her opinion, right? It's not an objective truth. And I was like, wow, why are people so mad at that? Like, I could, even if she would have said, well, I know Kirk Kennedy can spit, I would have been like, hey, I appreciate that, but life goes on. Like, who cares about her endorsement or not endorsement? I was really disappointed almost. As some people, I'm like, fam, like, the Lord knows you spit. You know, some people get honored in front of everyone. Some people will be honored in eternity, right? Not everyone's going to be honored in front of the world, and we all want that. We all want to be seen as dope and all this stuff and all that. Cool, sweet, I get it. For years, I felt like I was just as good or better than a lot of people. You know, and I didn't get the accolades. I didn't get the favoritism, whatever you want to call it. I didn't get and it happens, but I got my own fan base. I got people who know who Kirk Kennedy is. And when I make music, people bang with it. I do albums that I don't think anyone does in CHH. I don't think anyone has done an album like Serial Killer Smiling Pictures. Or my last project, I'm warning you, do not listen to this album. I don't think anyone does that kind of stuff. But so what? If everyone doesn't buy it like that, I was surprised that people hold her opinion so high. And I think it's due to the fact, not that she's not worthy of respect. That's not what this is. But I think if you're offended that she didn't answer the question in the way that you would have or thought she would have, I think it's like, why though? Why does that bother you? Like, who, on one level, and again, this isn't disrespectful to her. This is a general question to anyone. Who is Jackie Hill Perry? Like, why does her opinion carry so much weight because she didn't say, well, I think Shy Lynn or these people and that people, like, so what? Listen to Aha Gazelle. Like, I don't know. Maybe that interview was like, maybe everyone who watches that interview will only believe and only listen to the artist that she did. I just don't think so. I think we have to stop letting people who have bigger platforms, like, give them a sense of authority in their perspective, especially when it's not exegetically explaining biblical truth accurately. Who cares what I think if I just said this is my opinion? Who cares? I mean, thank you to some of you watch my channel and you give me super chats and all this. Thank you. But like, at the end of the day, I'm nobody. Like, who cares? Like, you either like what I say or you don't. But there's no objective truth here unless I'm just saying what the Bible says, right? There's no objective truth. So I think we're in this culture where we feel like everybody owes everyone a shout out. Like, everyone owes, like, no, you got to say these people. This is a chance to, man, Jackie Hill Perry don't got to say nothing. She could have said, I don't think nobody's good, or I could have named 20 people. What difference does it make? Like, why is her opinion so important to you if you're offended? It just caught me off guard. I was like, wow, people are really offended at this joint? I was like, man. So I watched the interview a couple times and I thought, you know, Jackie Hill Perry is a very confident woman. And and sometimes when you're confident, it can come off as arrogance, right? Or self-righteousness. And that's the problem with, like, when you don't really know a person, you just go off of what you see here. So I'm a very confident person. My passion can come off as self-righteousness or arrogance. So you have to find ways to qualify or humble yourself if you care about that type of thing. I think the way she answered the question was a little self-confident, a little bit like, I don't think there's much lyricism in CHH. After being told, like, you're one of them ones, like, your pen is one of them ones, could have been like, man, thank you for that. I appreciate that. There's a lot of good artists. I'm humbled to even be considered as one of them ones. Maybe she could have said that. I don't know. But her opinion on who's a good artist or not, to me, is only as good as your respect you have for her. There's a lot of good music out there. There's a lot of good everything out there, and we just don't know it. So I was surprised that people were offended at that. But I think, again, as a warning to fellow brothers and sisters, we have to be careful that we don't, first of all, we have to search our hearts. I know there was a time, so on my album, Chapter 2, on my album, Frustrated Christian, Chapter 2, I had a song called The Rap Game. One of my favorite songs I've ever done. And in this song, I said it myself. I didn't use the sample of Nas saying somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game. He said that in his song "Represent" on his first album, Illmatic. And so I just said it. Sometimes the rap game reminds me of the crack game. And I was just talking about, wow, how selfishly ambitious the Christian rap music scene is. And the song was me saying, when I came in, I opened up doors only because I was shunned by Holy Culture Radio, because my first album as a Christian rap artist, I was named Voice then. And it was called Progression, and I was rapping for a middle to upper class white suburban church planting ministry. That's what I was at, a mega church. Well, that was my core audience, right? I thought that to be humble, I had to take all of the aggression that I used to rap with. I told y'all back in the day, I almost got signed to Bad Boy and all this in Def Jam. I almost was in a bidding war with them out of DC. It was crazy. Then I got into this shootout, got into a broad day shootout, and then all of that went away. I was facing 43 years in prison. It was like, oh my God, this is right after Biggie got murdered in 97. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, that's a whole other story. So I thought, man, you can't rap like that. You got to be like, hey, keep it like real light. So I did that. And then I hooked back up with Apologists from Christ Centric. We were buddies we knew each other on the street. I knew Evangel before, Evangel, she could have just said, you could have just said Evangel, left it at that. I think Evangel is top 20 secular Christian, just vicious, right? He the Christian Big L, right? So he told me about Holy Culture Radio, and then they didn't like my music because it wasn't that East Coast, that vibe, And I just think we have to understand what's happening here. I remember when Lecrae blew up. Lecrae blew up at a time. So I came into the industry in 2005, right? Lecrae was on Cross Movement and was starting to branch out. I think he had just started Reach Records. Cross Movement was on their way out. They were on their way out from doing Christian rap. They had done enough albums. They had been around since, I think, 98, 97. I didn't hear about them until years later because I just wasn't into Christian rap like that myself. But Lecrae started to blow up. And this is the thing, the church always follows the world. The church follows the world in almost everything, which is sad, but that's a different conversation. So musically, Lecrae had like a Southern sound. Like I remember when I heard it was about that riding in my car, listening to that Jesus music, dun, 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 and tripping that Jesus music. And it was a tough joint. But what really I think blew Lecrae up was that at that time, secular music, rap music was changing a ton. You had the end of the East Coast era, right? So 50 Cent was the end of the East Coast reign. I mean, yeah, Jay-Z dropped a couple albums later, Kingdom Come, American Gangster and all that. But the reality was by the time 2005 hit, the South Sound was blowing up. You had already had No Limit, who was kind of dying by then, but Cash Money was blowing up. Lil Wayne was on fire around that time. You had Young Jeezy coming out, The Snowman in 2003. You had T.I. was out. The South was popping. You had Rick Ross, Every Day I'm Hustling. That's 2005. He comes out, right? Miami. The South Sound was blowing up. And because the church patterns the world, all of a sudden that Southern rap, that East Coast sounded like Cross Movement and Lamp Mode, myself, Christ Centric, other guys had, was slowly taking a back seat to the South Sound. But Lecrae was one of the few people really doing it. I mean, you had some guys like K-Drama doing this thing. Flame started doing this thing in the Midwest. But it was like, that was the sound that really started to catch. And then Trip kind of did his thing with his music, and then Reach Records grew. And so this reality is just like, a lot of it is just, okay, popularity comes, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away, all of it comes to fruition. This is what happens. The church patterns the world. So for Jackie Hill Perry now to be like, there's no lyricism. I agree with her. I think at large, there's lyricism in general. It just in general is not like it was when we came up in the 90s era. I'm from that era, the 90s era. You got J. Cole, you got Ken, you got a couple people that are keeping lyricism alive. You got a few others that, that might get mad if I don't name them. Keep it, but for the most part, it's just a different sound altogether. But I just think, listen, if you're an artist, do what you do because it honors the Lord. Sure, we all want to be heard. We all want people to buy our music. Sure. But like, we got to be careful. Like Jackie Hill Perry is a person. She's popular, but she's not popular because she's like a a dope lyricist. That may be part of how people view her. So her opinion on music is not like why everyone listens to her. I think, if she didn't mention you think she should have mentioned other people? Does it really matter though in the grand scheme? Like, I just think we got to be careful not to be so. And I'm not judging anyone's motive. I'm just judging the fruit that it bears. What I saw people saying and the way they were reacting. Like, we just got to be careful not to be so easily offended. Like, I get it. A lot of us are not going to get the due that we thought we deserved. A lot of us. I can tell you, I helped a lot of people behind the scenes. Let's be clear. When I rapped at John Piper's church in 2006, I was the first one to rap there. It was Voice at Bethlehem. It's on YouTube. At the time, it went viral at the time. Now viral means millions of videos, but back then, tens of thousands was a big deal because YouTube was relatively new. And all of a sudden, I was put in all these magazines. I could show you the article, Christianity Today, top 5 reform rappers. It had a big picture of Lecrae. It had Trip, Shy, Flame, and Voice. I was out there. I was doing interviews, talking to and I was telling people, hey, have you heard of this guy? Have you heard of this? Because I felt like, these people have been laying down roots long before me. But I never felt like I got that back in return from these people. And it just happens. It's part of the game. So I put that all in this on the rap game. But I just felt like, you know what? I realized and the Lord showed me, this is me. I'm not saying this is anybody got mad, that it was selfish ambition for me. I wanted the fame that they got. I wanted to be the Lecrae. I felt like I was better than. I had all that. Lecrae had the look, right? But I didn't think he was like the best rapper enough. I thought there were other rappers way better. But I thought like, hey, I wanted to be that. And at the end of the day, it was really just my ambition. It was selfish ambition. My being upset wasn't because I wasn't given proper due. It was because I don't think I was coveting. I want the due that you have. I want, as Fat Joe said, jealous ones envy, right? I was envying other people. Now, I'm not saying that that's anyone who got upset. I'm just saying we just got to be careful, fam. I mean, I'm sure Jackie Hill Perry said some stuff I bang with. I'm grateful for the way the Lord is using her. But at the end of the day, though, if the 24 elders cast their crowns, as we see that in Revelation 4, if the 24 elders are going to cast their crowns, who cares about Jackie Hill Perry's crown and what she's talking about? Who cares about Kirk Kennedy and what I'm talking about? Everyone, if they're casting their crowns, then every single one of us are. Who cares about how good your pastor preaches? Who cares? All of it, it's for the Lord or it's not, right? Let's get back to Ecclesiastes. All is vanity, right? Worship God and die. I just think, don't let yourself get affected because then you look crazy on your social media feed like you mad because people aren't choosing you. And it's like, I could care less if Jackie Hill Perry ever has heard my music, likes it or whatnot. I have plenty of people that are grateful for what I've done, and that's the lane that God has given me, and I'm good. You know why? Because I don't deserve anything good from the Lord. And guess what? Neither do you. Neither do you. Do you know the slightest deviation from God's will to God is satanic? Remember when he told Peter, get behind me, Satan? When Peter was like, man, far be it from me, Lord. Like when he was trying to, Matthew 16, where he said, I'm going to be turned over to the hands of men and be crucified. And Peter was like, no, Lord. And Peter rebuked Jesus. It was like, no, the Lord rebuked him. It's like, no, get behind me, Satan. Peter loves the Lord and was disappointed at hearing the Lord may die and did not intentionally wasn't trying to stop God's will. And Jesus still said, get behind me, Satan. That means even when well-intended, the slightest deviation from God's will is satanic. You and I slightly deviate from the will of God all the time. When's the last time you loved your neighbor as yourself or loved God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength? When's the last time? And if you've done it, bravo. But when's the last time? Probably never. We're always worthy of the wrath of God. When we stand before God, the sin scale is not going to tip until Jesus gets on it. It's just not. So listen, if no one likes my music, if I don't get what I never got what I thought I was due from as a creative. So what? I think there are people's YouTube channels that should not have the subscribers they have. So what? At the end of the day, thank you, Lord, that I have anything good from you, because what I deserve from you is something that I don't want. That's funny. The stuff I want from God, I don't deserve. The stuff I deserve, I don't want. Let's not let it get to us too much. But anyway, that's just me. I'm not judging nobody in particular. I was just like, wow, they really offended by her saying that? I was like, wow. I guess, and everybody's cut differently. I could care less what Jackie Hill Perry thinks about my music or about many things. I think she says stuff that's really good, though, and I bang with it. There's stuff that she says I bang with. Because she talks about Jesus. I'm on the side. If you're on the side of Jesus, I'm on the side with you. And I'm going to bang with you when you say something that's accurate about Jesus. I love that. In that sense, go on, march on, do it, do you. Speak, challenge, do what you got to do. Talk about all that. But when you talk about music and stuff, you might as well tell me to put ketchup on my eggs. That's just preference, and I don't think it should matter. All right, let's go to the tape real quick. Let's go to the tape. I was waiting for you to talk about this. You know, it's funny. I wasn't even going to, man. I wasn't, seriously. I was just going to get food for my sons, and I saw some stuff, and I was thinking about this, and then I just thought, let me just do a quick video because I'm still packing. I was like, man, I don't know, man. I see you, Will. Always, Will's tightening me up. Going to California tomorrow, tightening me up. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. That $9.99 will buy me a candy bar. California is deep crate. It's stupid expensive. My kids are skinny, but they eat like they fat. It's going to be crazy. All right, the guy was Justin from Rapzilla. Okay, yeah, I don't even follow. I haven't looked at Rapzilla since 2014 when I dropped The Frustrated Christian. I paid for promotion on Rapzilla, and back then I was glad that I did because it still had some influence. And they gave me, I had the packet, I had a gun in my head. It was called Frustrated Christian. I was grateful for it, but I didn't know who the dude was. I don't know. I mean, right. Andy's a decent rapper, but he's nice all around from the beats and the rhyme perspective. But she didn't say Lecrae, so people are probably hating. Well, the people I'm talking about aren't even Lecrae in them. There were other people that probably don't have the popularity of Lecrae. That I was like, wow, why are they upset at this? I don't really get it. The podcast, though, with the Perrys. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've seen it. I've heard good things about it. I have not watched it, man. But I think I've watched snippets of, someone sent me from my church a portion of an episode, I think, but I haven't gotten into the Perrys. But I know that I seen them on Ruslan. Preston, I think his name is. So I know of them, but I just haven't gotten into them. So, but I'm sure, I bet it's dope. I hope it is. Because I know they want to honor the Lord, and I'm all for that. I bang with that. You only recently heard of me. She's nice with it, but yeah, I never checked on her until like a past few months. Yeah. I mean, her popularity is because she's a former lesbian, and that's just a reality. She's a redeemed former lesbian who's married with children and is killing it for the Lord. Her popularity is not because she's music. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how people are going to take to it because sometimes when you're popular, stuff happens. But I think when I hear, I don't think her music, so I just saw a single she put out with Reach. I don't think that music is for today. I don't think that music, it was straight rapping. It was cool. She was in the studio. It was just that. I was like, okay, cool. This reminds me of Lauryn Hill, sort of 96, the Fugees, the School album. I play my enemies like a game of chess. She could flip. Yeah. In terms of that sense, yeah, she could spit. But I don't know if it's going to translate today either. It's just interesting. It's just funny about this stuff. From what I heard of her music, I'm not impressed. Her insight on scripture, from what I've heard, is good. Yeah, she has some good thoughts about scripture. Anthony, I agree. I mean, I don't listen to her a lot, but I've heard her say something. I was like, yes. I played a clip of her in my church one morning, about a month and a half ago, of something she said that I saw on Facebook, because it was stuff that I've been saying, and it was like a way that God was like, yep, other people are talking like this too. I was actually grateful for that. To me, she is the best lyricist in the game, and I am a hip-hop head. Who was on her level? Yeah, I'd have to listen to her music, but again, let's just be honest, Jerome, and I'm glad you said this, to me, right? To me. I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, it's just to you, right? It's not, there's no, the only GOAT that exists is Baphomet. That's the only GOAT that's Baphomet. And that GOAT is mocking God, who in the Old Testament, at the Day of Atonement, transferred the sins of the nation onto the scapegoat, the GOAT, right? That went out into Azazel, Leviticus 16. She's to you, and I appreciate that. You said, to me, she's the best lyricist in the game. Dope. I'll look forward to checking out her music when it drops. But but what does that mean, though? It's just, it doesn't matter. Like, let me say something. Because when you talk about music, right? Rap music in particular, right? Lyricist is not all that matters. That's why she said there's no lyricism. That's just one element. And the people she named, are they lyricists? Is Aha Gazelle? I don't listen to their music. Is Aha Gazelle vicious like that? Is No Big Deal? Are they lyricists? I don't know. Like when you're talking about an album, right? You're talking about a lot of layers that make an album good, right? This is why like J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick are all the three kings, so to speak, but they all do different things. If you really listen to Kendrick Lamar's, his own music, not this feud with Drake, if you listen to his own music, like, let's just be clear. If you're a lyricist, remember in 2013 when he put out that Control verse that blew everything up? That verse blew up not because it was lyrically crazy, but because he said, I'm trying to murder all of the people. He named all these rappers. Big K, Wale, and it was like, whoa, nobody's doing that. It was more about the competitive nature. Kendrick, if you listen to what he's saying, it's clever, it's good, but it's not like, yo. No, what he does well is he changes his voice. He gives you different rhyme patterns and flows. It's not about just lyricism. It's not about punchlines and rhyme schemes. He switches up. His voice is literally an instrument. And that's what makes him different. You might hear 5 different flows in one joint, but if you hear what he's saying, it's not like, yo, that was a crazy bar. It's no, what he does with his albums is you get a body of work that is creative. And that's what I try to do. All the lyricism stuff is cool. So I think, I could rattle off at least 10 rappers whose lyrics are better than most on her label. 100%. 100%, bro. 100%. 10 Hurt, It's Against All Odds, a banger, and I'm not charismatic. Oh, you naming all of them. Says, I was surprised too. I didn't understand why some CHHRs. Yeah, Latanya, I don't get it. I don't get it. And maybe everybody's cut differently. I don't get it. I don't think, my bad, Chris, man, I ain't gonna run through all these names because I don't even know these people. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna do that because you faithfully on the channel. Let me do that for this dude. Zadok 9, Ambassador for old school joints, right? Deuce, Tim. The homie Caleb Gordon puts out a jam a week. Okay, one of these people I haven't heard of, so that's dope. Kieran the Light, all right. He too. Christian Big L, I used to bag that. Right. I won't name you or Hype Man because this is your stream. Okay, cool, but I appreciate that you have us in there. 5, this cat, Child of the Light got skills. Look up the joint center. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I like hearing dudes that can spit. And I was here about to put together a top 5 until I heard what your perspective on this is. Thank you for your perspective once again, brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. Have a top 5, right? Get it. I get it. There are some people that would say I'm their favorite Christian rapper because of what I deliver, what I give, what I bring, and I'm grateful for that. But if I was never no one's favorite Christian rapper, so what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think everyone who makes music likes their own music. I'm working on an album right now under the name JFK. It's me and my buddy Jonathan Perea and Kennedy, JFK, Jesus for King. The album's called The Assassination. This album is no joke. It's R&B and rap together. I've never done a project like this before on this scale. People gonna love it. Some people are not gonna like it. So what? I like it. I'm gonna ride out and listen to it. And if nobody else likes it, my kids will be like, Poppy, this goes hard. I love it. It's just what it is. I don't care about her or anybody's opinion. I'm putting out stuff that I think is good, and if other people like it, sweet. If her or others don't, so what? Like, okay, keep it moving. Let's keep it going. The only thing we're due is wrath, but instead of 100%, bro. Anything else is a gift, man. Really, the top can swap 100%. Well said, bro. Thank you, brother. Thank you. KB, yep. Didn't name KB. Yep. Shy, but he might as well be retired. Yeah, Shy isn't really rapping. He did a little stuff here and there. Christ-centric band, 100%. I think Evangel is in my top 25 best lyricists. Not just CHA, just best top 25. That's saying a lot. Evangel's tough. Fresh and fit. Thank you, Lish. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Always looking out. Thank you, Lish. Hope to meet you and your family one day. We love you. Got 3 boys, too. I got 3. That testosterone trio. I get it. I think your boys are a little bit old because your oldest is graduated, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Mine is about to be a junior in high school. But I get it. The testosterone trio. Thank you, though, Lish. Thank you so much for that. I think that conversations about GOATs and top 5s can become contentious because it's subjective at the end of the day. Yeah, honestly, yeah. If you say who's the GOAT, some going to say Jay-Z. Some going to say Lil Wayne. The only GOAT that is real is Baphomet. That's the only GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Man, you're spot on about Evangel being the big LSH 100%. I was just bumping one of his tracks on that album. Expository Journey. Dope album. Go get that, John. Expository Journey. Crazy album. Crazy album. Find that on whatever live stream. Wherever you get it. You should buy it, but just check it out. Yeah, he gave a reference. Oh, yeah, that's my homie. Me and him have done good music together. That's the dude. We was pretty... I think you would appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I'll probably check it out the time. I might check out some of it because I'm on vacation, so I might kind of branch out and see who's out there. You know, I'm gonna still be streaming though. No Big Deal is dope. I mean, he's all right. He's not super lyrical for what I mean. But again, super lyrical is only some people's perspective, right, Molly? Like, not everybody wants super lyrical. If that were that's what it used to be, and that, but rap music has evolved to something else. It became very melodic, at least in the secular world. That's why all these guys. Like, you know what's funny? If you don't know reggae, right? If you don't know reggae, you don't know the difference between like dance hall and like just regular. You don't know the difference, right? You hear Sean Paul, you don't know the difference between, it all sounds like this. It all sounds the same, right? If you don't know reggae. But when you understand how to listen to it, then you can be like, oh, that's Buju Banton. Oh, this is such and such. Oh, that's Bob. Oh, that's such and such. I mean, Bob Marley is easy because it's real basic, right? But I mean, a lot of it, you got to have an ear for it, right? If you don't have an ear for it, then it doesn't, it's all preference. It's all preference. And so, like lyricism, not everybody wants that. Some people want the melodic stuff. Some people want all of that. To me, if you want to be a good artist, you got to be able to give everybody. What EPMD had that song that said, "Got to give the people what they want." You got to be able to give people the different kind of flows. Give them the trap. Sometimes you can't just give them the boom bap. You can't just get. And that's what I think. Why some artists just fall off. You don't know how to move with the times. To me, I like to move with the times and do music that fits the culture that we're in. I wasn't mad. I just think that's her opinion. But also, maybe she's not tapped in, or maybe given her level of lyricism, she has super high standards for what she deems lyricism. That could be right, Asha. That could be. She could be. But again, even her super high standards are her super high standards. This is the thing. You know what I would be hurt is if we get to heaven and the Lord was like, yeah, the only rappers that was really spitting was. That's a different. If the Lord says that, then it's like, dag. He ain't think I was spitting. And then I'm going to be like, all right, but Lord, what about this song, though? You ain't think? You let the paper cover the rock, and Satan use scissors to cut us a lot. You let the paper cover the rock, and Satan use scissors to cut us a lot. I'm here in the land of opportunity, but Satan, I was spitting. Lord, doesn't that count, Lord? If he was like, nah, man, you what? Then that's it, man. I honestly, like, I just think, be careful of platform epistemology. Listen, a lot of you like what I do, and I'm grateful for it. You give me super chats, man, I'm humbled by that. But like, man, we're all just flawed, man. Who cares? Because I got a YouTube channel and people like, man, I'm gonna say something you ain't gonna like, and then it is. I can say something you don't like. You be like, I'm unsubscribing. It's fickle. Who cares? This is opinion. I'm not even tripping off that. No Big Deal, Indie Tribe, lyrical, and have. Okay, that's what's up. That's what it's called, Indie Tribe. That's what he said. Okay, that's what's up. I never heard it, and I mean I know who I've heard of them. I don't listen to their music a lot though. So I'll have to check. I'll have to look at some of it. Kendrick did that 50 Cent type approach when he came at everyone on the control track. Oh yeah, How to Rob. Oh yeah, that was it. That was the joint. That's what blew 50 Cent up. Yeah, Kendrick did do that. And that's what blew the song up. It wasn't like Kendrick's bars was crazy. It was just he named all the rappers and said, I'm trying to murder you. And it was all in love, but some people took it personal. Drake. Mouthpiece is my favorite old school lyricist. Kajan Boone is next up, but she may be out of touch with a lot of new artists, and that's okay. That's what's up. How do you personally define lyricism? Like, what's your criteria for lyricism? That's a good question. You know what? How do I define lyricism? That's a good question. Let me tell you why I'm thinking about it and saying that's a good question, why I'm repeating that. The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think I care about lyricism anymore in rap. I think nowadays I care about how do you deliver an album. Like, I don't know. Like, and I'm not saying this to smile. I don't know if I could listen to a whole Jackie Hill Perry album unless I felt, because lyricism is not enough for me. To be quite honest, lyricism can get boring. But like, I need creativity. I need you to, Like when you rap like a lot, like the way I've heard her rap is good. I think she got some good stuff. But there's certain ways you can't deliver bars. Like so like let's use this as an example. Some of you might be grossed out by this. But part of what made Lil Wayne in many people's minds one of the GOATs, right? Some people would put him on the Mount Rushmore. Lil Wayne wasn't lyrical. He wasn't lyrical at all. But what it was his punchline, the way he rapped made his punchlines be able to be delivered in such a way that they were comical and they were funny and you got it. And that blew him up. So all this talk about lyrical and yeah, I'm from the era of the Big Daddy Kanes, Rakims, the Nas's, the Jay-Z, Big Pun. That was cool back then. But today, I think what people want is a body of work that is interesting. Well, let me rephrase that. What I want is an interesting body of work. I want to actually think about your music, not just like, oh, she can spit. Like, so when I think about lyrics, I'd have to really think about that to give you a genuine answer. Because I don't think I care. Now, when I say I don't care about it, I don't mean I'm like, well, hey, y'all, this what's up, and Jesus is alive. I ain't talking about, let's go back to Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Fashion for you. I ain't talking about that. I just think when I listen to an album, my first thought isn't, are they lyrical? It's, do they know how to present their material in a way that connects with me, that I'm engaged in? And that doesn't always mean lyrical and lyricism. It just means, how do you deliver? So I want to hear more. I want to know, you know what I like? You know what? Thank you, LaTon. You know what I like? I want to know, I don't want to know what the next song is going to sound like. You know how sometimes when you buy an album, when you listen to it, you get the first 3 songs, you can tell, okay, this is going to be all trap. The whole thing. It's all trap. And you may not know, but the next song is going to be boom, 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 boom. It's going to be, you know it. I want to not know what you're going to do next. Like when I listen to her music, it's going to be more East Coast raps and sounds. Okay, boom. Cool. I'm from that era. I like it. I can listen to it. I want to be like, oh, wow, they came like this. Okay. And then it makes me listen. So I think it's a long answer. So you end up peeping that email such about preterism. You know what? I didn't. Did you send it to? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. I didn't see it, but I'll look for it. Random question. Not sure if you saw D1 on Math Show. I would love to see you on there, Pastor Curtis. God bless. I didn't see D. I think I did see a little bit. Yeah. I did see D1 on Math Show. Absolutely, I did. I did see D1, and I'm grateful for that brother. I did a video about him a while ago when he kind of was in that little back and forth with Jim Jones and Rick Ross and them. And I'm grateful for the brother. I just think the thought I had about D1, and I probably still feel this way, is that I think when you're a believer, you have to be careful. You're treating everyone like they're believers, and these guys aren't. Like of course they're going to rap about things that don't glorify God. Like I don't know. And I don't know if D1 feels this way or that's just what he was articulating. Because I bang with the brother. I'm grateful how the Lord's using them, and don't get me wrong. But I think as Christians, I don't know where this expectation, maybe it comes from theonomists or, sort of, I don't know where this expectation comes from that the world is supposed to submit to God the way Christians are, and when they're not, we need to hold them accountable. I don't get that from 1 Corinthians 5. I don't get that from 2 Timothy 2. I don't get that I just don't get it. So I don't, when D1 was saying all that stuff, I was like, hey, he's saying dope stuff, but like you're talking to people who don't profess to believe in Jesus. Listen, let me just say this. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier. Let me say this real quick. This is why I'm saying I don't understand this. And this is not what I intended to say right now, but I'm going to say this because we're talking about this, right? In the Old Testament, right? God gave them the law, and God clearly said in Leviticus 18 and some other chapters, what I'm telling you, Leviticus 4, I think he says this too. I'm telling you, don't do what the Egyptians do or the nations that surround you, right? So basically, Old Testament law, Mosaic law on down, was God saying, this is how I want you to be, not like those other people. So all the weird stuff was weird to us. It was because God was trying to create a people that were so different than all the other nations that they stood out. But God never said, go to those nations and impose the law that I'm putting on you on them. No, it was, you're going to live like this. You're going to act like this because you're different from them. There was never go impose. Now, granted, if you go to war and you take some of them captives and they convert, you gotta, circumcise them and all that, right? You can marry their daughter, whatever, right? But God's law in the Old Testament was always for those who belong to God, not to impose on those who don't. So it's so interesting to me when Christians who are like from the theonomist camp that the whole world's supposed to submit to God's law like the most Old Testament. That's not what happened in the Old Testament. The Philistines didn't submit to God. The Amorites, the Amalekites, the Jebusites, the Girgashites, none of them people submitted to God's law. You had individuals like Rahab or Ruth, the Moabite, who kind of became... No, that wasn't what the Old Testament was about. So it puzzles me. Then when we get to the New Testament, we're told the same thing. We're told to be different, believe in Jesus, act different, because we're not like the rest of the world. But the difference is we're told to go and share with the world what God has done. But we're not told to take over the world like in a moral sense. Like we're not told to try to make people who don't believe in God submit to God in a way that's not connected to genuine faith in Jesus Christ. It's so consistent. I don't understand this. I don't even understand where theonomists get this from. Yes, Jesus' prayer, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? But let's think about that in Matthew 6, right? Let's tease this out, because maybe I'm wrong. But I think about this stuff a lot. Y'all got me on one right now. I wasn't even going to do this stream. I don't even want to pack no more. Forget going to California. We're going to stay here and talk, right? Now y'all got me on one. When Jesus said, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What do you think his will, what's his will being done on earth? In heaven? What's his will being done, right? God is a God of righteousness, morality, right? God's a God of good and evil, right? So God's will being done in heaven is people, right? Submitted to him in faith, like believing in him, right? These aren't people who have no desire to honor God who are forced to do it. That's not what's happening in heaven. All the people that don't want to willingly submit to and love God, they're not there, right? So when Jesus told us that prayer isn't submit God's law on earth as it is in heaven. In heaven will only be the people who willingly and joyfully submit to God. Now, every knee will bow and every tongue confess, but some knees will bow because they have to, and some will bow because they're glad to. Now, by the grace of God, and I hope that I persevere to the end, I'm bowing because I'm glad to, right? But it's never about taking moral law and imposing it on people. So I'm saying all this to say, when I used to watch the D1 stuff when it was all popping, I was like, yeah, I feel what he's saying. And don't get me wrong, I like that he's saying y'all are saying things that affect the culture and making people do these things. And brother, you got to choose a side, good or evil. I was like, well, fam, you know what side they on. They on the evil side. They've already done that. There is no choose. They've already chosen a side. The goal is to rescue them from that side. So anyway, I'm sorry, long rant, man. I'm doing too much. All right. Who is your favorite CHH artist, new and old? I would say Evangel. I would say Strack. His hype man Strack, or who I call Strack the Wolverine. Dope artist. I did like some of Andy Mineo stuff. I liked it. I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. I'm my favorite, to be honest. I'm my favorite. I'm my favorite. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm my favorite lyricist. And I'm not even mad to say that. I think everyone should like their own. I'm my favorite. I'm my favorite CHH artist. All right? I'm my favorite. But I think I've liked a lot. There was a time I liked Bizzle. I related to Bizzle. I liked, when Thizzle. I liked it at first when Thizzle first came out, that Confessions of an Ex-Hustler. I could relate to that, I liked Trip. I thought there were times I couldn't understand what Trip was saying, to be honest. That southern drawl was just too much for me. I don't really tell what it tells about. I couldn't catch it, but I banged with it. I liked the delivery because of T.I. T.I. made me like that. What I tell about that. So yeah, I was my favorite, if I'm being honest. But then Evangel, Strack, I think was dope. I like Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is an underrated, unique. He's got unique music because Chris Jones is he's in a unique world. I like Chris Jones' stuff. T Barlow is dope. I think he got some joints, man. Past him. So I would say that, yeah. Only GOAT is Baphomet. 100%. You know what I'm saying? 100%. It's ironic that we're only, I say this in one of my songs. It's ironic that we're always talking GOAT about people who worship Baphomet, children of the corn, a pentagram in their bassinet. That's one of my songs. That's why I think it's ironic that we're always talking GOAT about people who worship Baphomet, children of the corn, a pentagram in their bassinet. They're like the little horn from Daniel. Man, y'all don't want that smoke. I rap. All right. Get you 5 gallons. There you go right there. Shoot, it might not even be 5. Shoot, it might be 3 gallons, bro. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Will, thank you, man. Y'all dudes killing it. Thank you, bro. And it's put down MAAAAAADDDDD for sure. Okay, my bad, bro. MAAAAAADDDDD. That's what's up. That's what's up. And yeah, you got to have more than just lyricism, like Gruber says. Mostly the voice. Yeah, I think it is. You got to have more than that. I think nowadays you got to have more than that, fam. You got to have more. Jackie may clarify her statement at some point. She may mention it in passing during an episode of the Perry. I suspect she'll be surprised by the uproar. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, she might stand by her opinion, and let her stand by her opinion. Like, my whole thing is like, what? And Latanya, I get what you're saying, but my whole opinion, this is my thought when I hear that. Why does she need to clarify her point, like her statement? Like, let it stand. If that's what you think, that's what you think. My problem is not that Jackie Hill Perry doesn't think there's lyricism in CHH. My problem is, why do people care if she thinks there's lyricism in CHH? I appreciate what she says, and she says some good stuff, but like, who cares? That's the part I don't get. So, unbiblical got me the other day. Yeah, that's the joint. That's that serial killer smiling pictures. That's what I mean. Like, to me, in this day and age, to be a good artist, I don't think it's just about lyricism. I think you need to come up with concepts. Like, I did an album 2 years ago called Serial Killer Smiling Pictures. Go look. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. You can stream it. I'm not even asking you to buy it. Just stream it. And it was a whole album devoted to understanding why are we fascinated with violence, and especially and fascinated with serial killers. These people are demonic. But I did a whole album fleshing this out. I don't hear people do that type of stuff. So I don't really care about if someone thinks I'm a lyricist. I would say, okay, you got me in lyricism, but I can put a better album together than you with a more entertaining concept than you can and carry it the whole way through. I mean, I just think like, that's what we at. So BCV, what's up? LOL, that's how we do it. You know how you know what it is. My bad, Pastor Kirk, got you hype. Nah, I'm just playing. You ain't giving me hype. I like this type of stuff, to be honest with you. I like this type of stuff. Marie, what's good, sis? Says, you're right about what the Bible says about our role in the world. Earlier today, I heard Tim Keller make a similar statement when he was addressing the errors of Christian crusades. 100%. I think people are wilding. Like, that's why you don't see me make a lot of videos talking about what Beyonce did and what the world did. Why wouldn't they do it? They don't believe in Jesus. Like, I don't get it. When you look at the old, I don't get, I don't understand theonomy. I don't understand theonomy. I don't get it. I don't get this. Mosaic law should be all over the world like the Old Testament. I don't get it, because God never commanded that. He commanded Israel to obey his law and to stay away from worshiping the other gods, because he didn't command them to go make those people obey my laws. That's not how God does. God doesn't want people to have to obey him. He wants people to choose to obey him. That's why Jesus came and wasn't. I think Jesus was not in the realm of David, the warrior king, because he wasn't forcing Israel. He wanted people to believe in him by their own choice. That's why I remember when he was talking, he said, look, if you don't believe in me, believe in the miracles that you see. God wants people to genuinely trust him. He's not about imposing himself on anyone. He's God. If he wanted everything to stop, it would stop. Like if the Lord was like, you know what, man, I'm just getting tired of Satan, man. It's a wrap for him. It's a wrap for him. Like they used to say this at when I first got saved with this Pentecostal church. The devil is still God's devil. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. I think, like I said in my video yesterday, we're so pressed as Christians to have causes. But our morality is too connected to causes. Our morality has to be connected to the cross. You will sin against people that disagree with your cause. And when you do that, you're sinning against the morality of the cross. And I used to do it. So I'm guilty as charged. So I ain't coming on here with 2 stone tablets, walk like I'm no, I used to do this a lot. But I just don't do it anymore. I get it. This is why I don't feel like debating people and stuff, because I get it. I don't even really care, fam. I honestly, and I'm not trying to say this like I'm arrogant, but I honestly don't care what most people think enough to even want to go back and forth with them. I could care less. Like, I know what my lane is, and I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I don't need to convince other people that I'm this or that. I don't care if people like my opinion or not. Just unsubscribe. I didn't force anybody to come on this video. There's 80 people on the stream. I ain't forced nobody to come. So it's like, yeah, it's just like, who cares? Like, I don't think anybody should care about my opinion more than anybody else's. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Grace and peace, sir. Where can we get your Frustrated Christian chapter 1? You know what? I got to put it back out. Someone else brought that up to me, and I forgot. I took it off. I'm putting Frustrated Christian back. Mark my words. Now that I'm going on sabbatical, I'm doing a vacation in California until August 13th. We leave tomorrow. I'm going to have some free time. I'm going to put Frustrated Christian back out. But stay tuned for that JFK album. Man, if you like my music, you're going to love JFK. It's different, though. It's different. It's not the thematic theme that I build. Every song builds into that. It's going to be a different Kirk Kennedy I think you're going to enjoy. So I appreciate that. Amen. FYI, I got Kurt in my top 5. Man, wiser words haven't been said tonight. No, I'm just playing, but I appreciate that, bro, for real. Trip was the Terrence Howard. Hey, for real. There were times I liked Trip, and I liked him as a person. I banged with him as a person. But there were times I didn't know what Trip was talking about. I was like, man, listen, man. I ain't going to keep rewinding this joint. Yes, anytime in history where Professor Believe saw power, lived did some bad things. The book Bullies, yes, and Saints by John. Yep, 100%. Exactly, Kirk. Cat's all in their feels over her opinion. It ain't that serious. I was surprised, man. I was surprised. I just don't. For me, lyricism is not enough. Well, that's how I feel, Asha. I love artists that can really compose and put together great songs and concepts. Like, can you make a good song that feels good and connects with me emotionally? I try to do that. I think that's really important. I think, and think about this. You know what? That's what changed a lot. You know what's funny? Here's what's funny. As rap evolved, it went from lyricism telling you stuff to just vibes and connecting. One day, my oldest son is 16. And about one day, sometimes I'll just be like, hey, son, so what do people listen to at your school? Like, who are the artists? I'm just curious. And there'll be a lot of people I never heard of. And I'll be like, hey, play some of their music. I want to hear what people get with. And he'll play stuff. And some of it, I'm like, okay, I can see why they like this. But a lot of it, I'm just like, man, what do people like about this? And I said, did you hear what he just said? What do you think about what he just said? And my son, and I believe him because I know him, he was just being genuine. He said, you know what, Poppy? He said, I don't even think I listen to their lyrics. It's just a vibe. Because it's all melodic. It's all like auto-tune, all that. And I just said, I looked at him. I said, you know what, son? I know my son. I said, yep, that's right. It's just a vibe to him. It's about vibes. So on one level, Asha, I think you're right. It needs those vibes. That's why someone like Juice WRLD, people connected with him. A lot of them dudes sound the same to me. Roddy Ricch, Juice WRLD, a lot of these dudes. But it's a vibe. It's a melodic vibe that connects with people. So I just think, man, I don't know. Fact Satan is God's leech and show. Yeah, 100%. God's leash. I think he meant leash, but leech could be there too. Let me see. One of my favorite artists. Yeah, I remember hearing about Corey Red when I first got said. Yeah, I like this stuff. I like Corey Red. It was that East Coast, like, yeah, that vibe. You know, I bang with it. Yeah, it was me that asked for Frustrated Christian one. Okay, that's right. You know, it was somebody else, DJ. It's coming though. I promise. My bad. It's coming. It's coming back. I can't believe I took it off. I forgot what happened. Something happened where I took it off and I forgot to put it back. I had something happen. All right. Intellect is fire. I'm a sucker for boom bap. Jersey stand up. That's what's up. All right. Personally, my confidence in rap artistry got way better when I stopped caring and agonizing over lyricism. Well said, Asha. It took the pressure off. I still care to a degree about it, but want to feel good. Yeah. I mean, listen, who does music that they don't want people to get, right? I don't know anyone who spends money, goes into the studio, works on it, and comes out with an album, and then says, yeah, I don't want nobody to hear this, though. Nobody does that. And let's just be clear. Everyone who makes music be bumping their own music. And I think you should. I don't think there's no shame in that. I did not pay that money to go into the studio to be falsely humble and be like, I be bumping my stuff. Let me tell you what I do. I'll listen to my music, and then once I know what the day is dropping on everywhere, iTunes and all that, I'll stop listening, and then I try to be the first one to buy it when it's on iTunes, so I can have the official little album cover in there and all of that. It's just a little tradition I have. I love that. I love it. I think I make good music, and I got enough people to say they like it. But if the masses don't, man, I'm not. I mean, we just at some point it's like, look, not everybody is going to get the same. Not everybody's going to get that platform, right? But that doesn't mean that people that have it got it because they're better than everybody else. I don't think Jackie Hill Perry's better than everybody else. It's all perspective. It's all perspective. I guess it's just that she's been in the genre long enough and to know a couple of high profile. Yeah, I agree with that. And collab with some of them and just want to know them better. But you know what though? Again, I don't know her that well, so I want to be careful how I say this because I'm not trying to say she was arrogant, but she's a confident woman. But this is the thing: the question was asked, like, you got a pen. People say you're one of the best. Like, who would you say? And she just responded, I don't think it's a lot of lyricism. I just wished he wouldn't have gave her props like that first, because it almost made it seem like how you answer this question is going to carry weight because you're one of the top pen. People say you got one of the top pens. It's like I don't think so. I don't care. Like Gordon Ramsay is a popular dude, but he might like catch up on his eggs and I don't. So his opinion on the best food to eat, I might take it because of who he is once or twice. But if I eat it and don't like it, I'm not going to be a donkey. It ain't going to be because something's wrong with my tongue. It's going to be because I don't use A1 sauce on my steak. If you got to add anything to your steak besides your mouth, then you don't know how to make a steak. But that's personal. That's just me. Some people might put a little A1 on, put a little bit of this on, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You wouldn't catch me dead with it. I'll fight you. If you try to put that on my steak. All right, sounds great. Only missing chapter 1 of my catalog on the Kirk County Trail. Thank you, brother. Looking forward to JFK. Keep them coming. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it. Black Calvinist. That's what's up. The Black Calvinist. It was me, LOL. Okay. I might disagree with you on that. Over in the DJ producer world, there are some of us who don't play their own stuff all the time. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's in the rap world, we do though. We do. The ones who rap, we rap, so we do that. All right, man. Appreciate y'all. I gotta finish pack. I wasn't. This up, man. Y'all, I'm telling you, man. Y'all should be liking this stuff because half of the stream is y'all messing with y'all. I would have been done 45 minutes ago. But I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all so much. Next stream, you'll see me in California. Be in San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area. If any of y'all are out there, maybe we can connect, look up. If you're in the San Francisco area, I will be preaching at Christ Church of the Presidio for the next 6 weeks. I'll be there every Sunday preaching there, and then I'll be traveling, me and my boys, going different places throughout the week. So it should be a crazy, crazy time. Pray for us. I got it. This is my first time ever taking 2 bags of luggage. It's just that serious around this joint. All right, but I'm out of here, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. And please don't tell me like, oh man, Jackie Hill Perry. Listen, man, she's grown. I didn't say nothing to disrespect her. I just don't think her opinion carries the weight that others do. And I wasn't offended at all when I heard her say that she don't think it's a lot of lyricism. I wasn't like, dang, somebody let me try to shout her out and give her a Kirk Kennedy. Man, I mean, it's her opinion, and everyone has that. And because she has a bigger platform, it doesn't mean that her opinion has more weight. Shoot, in fact, my opinion carries more weight than everybody else right now. A lot of people. Pun intended. I'm out of here. Grace and peace.